Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Friday the 27th of March. So looking as usual and starting with the euro dollar first. Overnight we've seen this sort of shove up to the daily 200, sold off a little bit. There is a bit of uncertainty now, dare I say it, in the markets there with how the vote will go and the process of this vote in the US House this later today or some point today. So I would imagine that the vote will be passed, but all the same, the price, we've seen a little bit of a pullback here on some of these markets. Divergence sitting there on the 60-minute euro. I know it's sitting across some markets here, so maybe a bit more rollover, pretty close-ish to the daily pivot. Will this follow through, or post 8 o'clock are we going to see a bounce from somewhere like the daily pivot and a continued move to the upside? It's $64 question that. We'll see. At the moment, obviously the bigger trend is currently for these markets is continue to the upside on this foot. You're looking at this 4 hourly all week. We've pretty much been seeing the euro pushing up here. So a bit of wait and see, probably earlier this morning, but we'll look at how that develops. Sort of, as I say, the divergence is there, but whether it will follow through is another matter. The pound, similar picture here at the moment. If you're looking at this daily candle, you've got to be a bit careful because obviously it's not closed. If it was a closed bar and you're waiting for the next bar to come in, you think nice shooting star into a daily 21. But this could just as well bounce from where it is and run through and look positive and run up to the next sort of levels. Shorter term here, even on this 4 hourly, we can see a bit of divergence, and with the MACD on the 60 there's divergence. So again, looking soft. However, it's just taken a little bounce off this pivot that's laying underneath here. Maybe which pivot is that one? He says. Okay, so we're pretty much down in the S3 territory still. On the monthly side of things there, that's rolling into, just finding support back onto it. Now again, this could post 8 o'clock continue up there, so it is a real case of either or here. Statistically, we've got a good probability of the daily pivots always being hit, but well, we may see the R1 hit first. Okay, dollar yen. Dollar yen. Well, yesterday saw it's coming out of that range I'd drawn on there. Will it go back in today? We'll see. Bounce off the 200 at the moment. Again, all of these are finding some either support or resistance into some key moving averages, which could see further moves. But again, you see the breakdown here on this 4 hourly. It's, if anything, looking soft, and are we just seeing a bit more a bigger correction in a downward trend? And I just need to see a bit more shape and a bit more idea. Just buying this at this stage here. Well, there's no divergences on this yen on this indicator for sure. There may have been a bit of RSI divergence here, but yep, it may be picking up here. And again, we've got daily pivots as potential targets. That 60-minute 200. I mean, when you look at the 60-minute 200, it is still pointing upwards, so maybe we've got further upside there. We'll see how that progresses, but I'm not chasing into any of these markets this morning as they stand. It's there you go, the Aussie, another one. At the moment, the daily candle's looking a bit shooting starish, but it's not a closed candle. We've seen the bars before still pushing up. Is this just a retracement or a short-term retracement, or are we going to see a turn? Arguably, there's potentially, or there was some divergence across the highs here on this 4 hourly point, but there's nothing to totally convince me one way or the other. Yes, there was divergence probably rolling in across the highs here. You can see it. Well, actually, MACD wasn't diverging, just the RSI there, but more aggressive RSI was diverging. But I still wonder if these markets come 8 o'clock we'll see more of a bounce. So that's pretty much where we are there. Let's just have a quick look at the Canadian dollar. So Canadian dollar continued through more solidly yesterday again. Maybe got well ahead of itself somewhat here, but moving back to that sort of 1.4 area. And now again, you see, we look, as I said, the daily bar's not closed. It's showing a sort of a doji bar at the moment, but this could just literally, these markets could just roll. And it's just a case of watching and to see. I see this one roll, but the other markets continue pushing up. The inverted markets, or let's say inverted. This is inverted relatively, but just see how things run post 8 o'clock. I'm treading carefully this morning at this stage. So that's pretty much it there. News-wise today, well, as I said yesterday, normal news is having very little effect on these markets, and not just that. There's no actual economic news due out today. Now we've got I see no economic news. We do have the US data news due out the vote later. There are talks with US and China and things like this continuing on trade, etc., and possibly that may create a little stimulus there, but overall there's not a lot out there, so we're left a bit technically. Let's see how these markets shape up. Okay, have a great day. Bye for now.